One afternoon, a patient came to me. He was in his 30s and he looked a bit anxious. When I asked him what the problem was, he replied with an anxious voice, "Doctor, today morning when I was looking in the mirror, I could see something on my retina." Now I was confused because normally we can't see retina in a mirror and we actually use specialized lenses to look at the retina. And this guy is saying that he could see retina in his mirror. So with curiosity, I started checking his eyes. And what I could find was there was a small dust particle on the black part of his eye, which is the cornea and not the retina. I removed the particle and sent him home with some eye drops. Here it's good that he tried to use medical terminology. When used correctly, it brings clarity to the conversation. However, if we start using the terms without a proper knowledge, we create more confusion than clarity. And sometimes, if we are conveying the wrong things, it might even be harmful. And I don't want you to be in that situation. So, today, we'll see what the different parts of the eye are called so that you can use them in your daily conversation with confidence. When we look into the mirror, we can see two parts in our eye, the white part and the black part. The white part is called sclera. In Greek, scleros means hard. Sclera is actually a tough, hard layer that provides support to other eye structures. Now, when you look clearly, there is a thin, transparent structure that covers the sclera, and it is called conjunctiva. This word is derived from the Latin word conjoin, which means to join together. Conjunctiva actually starts at the conjunction between the cornea and the sclera, and maybe that is why it is called conjunctiva. It helps in smooth blinking and keeping the eye moist. Now we'll come to the black part of the eye. When we look clearly, the black part is not actually black. It is a transparent dome-like structure and it is called cornea. In Latin, cornu means a horn. Why horn? I don't know. Maybe the ancients thought that the cornea is something that is related to the horns. Anyway, the cornea helps in focusing the light into the eye. Through this transparent cornea, we can see a colored disc with an opening in the center. This is called iris. Iris in Greek means rainbow. And you can see different iris colors like brown, green, blue, and other colors. Now we'll look at an interesting fact about the iris. Your iris pattern is unique to you. No two people have the same iris pattern, and that is why they take iris scans for identification. This central opening in the iris is called pupil, and light enters the eye through this opening. The iris regulates the amount of light entering the eye by changing the size of the pupil. Behind the iris, there is another transparent structure in the shape of gems or M&Ms, and it is called the lens. It is from the Latin word lentil because of the similarity in the shape. And the lens helps in fine-tuning the focus of the light. Now, when you try to look at the lens through the pupil, as the lens is transparent, the pupil appears black. This is because when you try to see through a keyhole into a closed room without a light, everything appears dark. And this is something similar. However, as we age, the transparency of the lens is lost and it becomes white, and it is called cataract. In such cases, we can see the white cataract through the pupil. And these are the only parts of the eye that you can see in a mirror. And to look at the other parts, you need to use specialized lenses and instruments. Behind the lens, there is a clear jelly called the vitreous. In Latin, vitreous means glass. And just like glass, the vitreous is transparent. This vitreous provides support to the retina and also fills the back part of the eye. Lining the inside of the sclera is an extension of the iris called choroid. This choroid is a layer of blood vessels and it provides nourishment. It is derived from the Greek word chorion, which is the layer with blood vessels around the fetus. And inside the choroid is the most important layer, the retina. In Latin, reti means net. And this retina has a net of light-sensitive cells that sense the light and transmit it to the brain through a nerve called optic nerve. Great. Now you know the parts of the eye and you can use them with confidence. However, with a simple trick, you can double your eye vocabulary. Whenever there is inflammation in some part of the body, if we add itis to it, it becomes the disease or the diagnosis. Inflammation of the appendix is called appendicitis. Let's move to the eye. Inflammation of the sclera, scleritis. Choroid, choroiditis. Retina, retinitis. Optic nerve, optic neuritis. Iris, iritis or iridocyclitis. Vitreous, vitritis. Conjunctiva, conjunctivitis. Cornea, it's not corneatis, it is keratitis. We have learned that in Latin cornu is horn. Horn in Greek is kerato. So that's why in medical terms, whenever we are trying to say something about the cornea, the word starts with kerat. So definitely the cornea has something to do with horns. Lens, as far as I know, doesn't get inflamed. So there is no term for inflammation of the lens. Great. We have learnt a lot of eye vocabulary today. Now that you know the parts of the eye, I'm sure you will be interested to learn about the eye from a different perspective. If yes, then check out this video. And if you find this video interesting, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And until next time, take care of your eyes. They are precious.